live.
Live.
Cooking with Mr. T.
We're gonna be cooking pumpkin pie today in a cast iron. And so this cast iron is about 90 years old.
Wow.
So, I call this my Harry Potter casket or cast iron because it's 9 3/4 inches. So it's not even. And most cast irons are 10 inches.
I like it.
And it's like the best pan I have to make pumpkin pie because it's nice and smooth inside. And this is my advanced potion making book from Harry Potter. I write all of my recipes in here, and I have my pumpkin pie
Nice.
recipe.
Okay.
So the first thing we have to do is we have to get a bowl. For the crust. And
Sit down.
you have a whisk.
Tony,
Yeah.
you better sit down.
In one of those.
Ah. Oh, look at that. That works.
Yeah. And there's beaters in there. There's they're there somewhere.
Oh, here, I'll do this.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. So the first thing we have to do is measure our flour. And we need to do.
Huh.
Actually, the first thing I need to do is wash my hands.
Sit down.
All right. There's Mr. T washing his hands.
You better do a bummer. Hey, T, you better wash your hands, okay?
I'm going to.
That's what he's doing right now.
You better wash your hands, Ashley.
I did.
Ashley's laughing.
Okay. Now that my hands are washed, now we can measure our flour.
How you like calling
And it says
Riley
we
a
need
baby?
2 cups of flour. So I'm going to do 4 half cups because I don't have a full cup, which is fine.
Watch this.
1.
How you gonna smell my
2.
trick or treat? Smell my cheese.
3.
Hey,
Give us something good to eat.
hey, Isaiah, I'm gonna smell your feet when you get home.
And 4.
I'm gonna smell Angel's feet when he
Okay.
gets home.
Now we're done with the flour. Put
I
that
want to eat
away.
Eric and eat Eric.
And then I'm pretty sure all the spices are in here, right? Yes.
I'm gonna smell my feet now.
And I need
Trick or treat,
salt.
smell my feet. Everybody came to eat to eat.
Yeah. So now, and this
Mr.
it
T,
says,
he's going to eat. I'm going to Mr. T. I'm going to eat the Grinch.
you're gonna eat the Grinch, okay? So then we have to do
Can I eat?
half a teaspoon of table
Can I eat
salt.
Zachary? I hate you, Zachary.
Have a seat. Sit down.
Nice. Okay.
Then we have to put in some baking powder.
Okay.
We have to put in a full tablespoon of baking powder. Now we're done with that, and we'll do that again. Okay, and salt. And the next is 1/3 cup of brown sugar. I like the dark brown sugar because it's my favorite.
Mr. T, you better pick up your brown sugar.
I'm
He
going
is. He's putting it in the pie.
with this
Oh.
one.
Okay.
Oh, that's me.
And what I'm doing is I'm making sure the whole cup is filled. So I press it in, but I don't use my fingers because it's really sticky.
Did you
Put
see that? He
in
used the side of the bag to press it in. I do that too.
Goes this. We'll save it for later. I'll put it with the stuff that's the fill-in part. We're gonna put some brown sugar in the fill-in. And then we have to do a full stick of butter and veggie shortener. And
Okay.
This is your veggie shortener. And you don't have to get like the super organic pasture stuff. I just do that because I think it tastes better. Now I need a bowl because I like to microwave butter and the shortening. And it's a full stick, which is usually a half a cup. Yeah.
Yeah, you like longer water when you get home.
Everything's better with butter.
Everything is better with butter.
Shit!
A lot of butter.
Huh?
And then for the veggie shortener,
You better back
you have to
it
be
up.
careful with this because if you mix butter and veggie shortener together in the microwave for too long, it actually explodes.
Oh, that's good to know.
So
That might be a good science experiment.
yeah, it's actually a very messy.
I wonder
science
why
experiment.
that happens.
I don't know, and it's happened to me twice. I'm pretty good at
Huh.
not having it explode, but I
Okay.
think it's something to do with the amount of oil that's in shortener and the amount of fat
That's in
in
butter.
butter.
Interesting.
But I've never looked it up why that is. And you actually don't need to do both. The only reason I do both is because the dough comes out a lot more fluffy.
Oh, okay.
And so I like to have super fluffy dough for my pie.
He's a boy, huh?
Okay. So I really have to watch this
No, you don't say that.
because I don't want it to
He's not
explode.
a boy. Cool it. Better laugh. That's it. I love Ruby. You know, this baby's a kid. Huh? He's not a baby, he's just a kid. I'm sure he is a kid. Look. Look at him. He likes to get home. He likes to go home and laugh with me. We'll laugh at home. I'm sure he likes it. What's on mean? On he's a kid. Yeah, maybe a boy can go to Chuck E.
I'm
Cheese.
gonna let that sit for a little bit because what happens is you put that in there, you're gonna bake the flour.
What was the boy?
Oh.
Burn the flour,
okay, and you don't wanna
burn
do
the
that.
flour.
Okay, good to know.
So while that's going, I'm gonna
That's on.
preheat my oven. I'm gonna preheat it to 425.
Ooh, 425. Okay. Did you hear that, Angel? He's heating the oven to 425.
I'm gonna check the oven, see if there's anything in it. Nope.
Always a good thing. Always check the oven.
Yes.
And then I'm
Always.
gonna mix up my dry ingredients.
Okay.
Oh, you don't have to say his name. His name is on here. Look.
Oh, we've got some good ones here. I can't say it 'cause it's in the water.
What is Mr. T doing right now, Angel?
Oh, he's baking.
He's baking.
Yeah.
What is he baking?
Oh yeah, maybe he is baking.
What am I baking?
What is he baking?
What-
Apple pie.
Pumpkin
Pumpkin
pie.
Dry. Okay, so all my dry ingredients are now
Yeah.
mixed together. This is not hot, so put that in there.
crust.
And then it's just basically just mixing all this in. And then
Look at that.
okay. Now that's gotten really dry, I'm gonna throw in 1/3 cup of water.
Ooh, look, he's putting water.
And it has to be hot water. So I kind of turn the
Oh.
sink on.
Did you hear that? It has to be hot water. It can't be cold water. You want hot water.
That's just the part of the thing. Oh wait, actually maybe it is. Yeah, you just heard me.
Okay. Now,
Huh?
Uh-oh.
now that that's all getting thick, I'm gonna take
Hey,
this out.
you don't know.
I'm gonna get my hands in there because the whisk is getting too thick.
What about hey you? You gotta stop crying.
Okay, so now he's gonna mix with his hands.
Hey,
And
no
we call
crying
this
is cool.
kneading the dough.
Huh?
Ooh, kneading. He's kneading the
It's
dough.
okay on him. Don't cry. It's okay.
You knead dough when you're making
So it's okay
pizza
now.
or bread. I think when you're making
So see,
cinnamon
it's
rolls.
kind of becoming
Oh
one
yeah,
big mass.
becoming a crust.
Yeah, this year I was supposed to have a farmer's market tent, but COVID made it really hard,
Yeah.
and they didn't have baked goods until like right about now.
Oh.
So maybe next year I'll have a pumpkin pie tent at the farmer's market. Okay.
That would be cool.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Hey, look at it. It looks so different than when it was dry
Yeah, remember it was
ingredients.
all
Look
dry
at
and
it.
now
Yeah,
it's
fine.
the ball.
It's a ball.
Okay. Then we're gonna put this
Hey,
in. The
look.
cool thing about this crust is you don't have to butter your pan
Dude, you don't need to
because there's
cry.
so much
You're
butter in
fine.
this
You don't need
that
to
it
cry.
doesn't stick to your pan.
Cool.
I don't know why can kid cry sometimes.
So what I'm doing is I'm pressing this into the
Oh.
shape that I want it in.
He's only a kid. He likes to cry, huh?
See?
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Arnold, look.
And
It's
pretty
okay.
much stays in there. And then it comes out in that shape.
You don't care if somebody cries, huh?
Okay. And if you guys know, pumpkin pies
you're
have
fine.
crust going up
Maybe
the
you cry,
side, so
huh?
I'm gonna push the dough up the sides of this.
Oh, okay.
I start in the middle
Or
by
you be fine.
pressing it
You don't
really
need to
thin.
cry? Huh?
Very cool.
Oh, you saw. Man.
So while I'm doing this, I'll tell you a little family history. My
Okay.
great grandmother, her name was Annie Outlaw, and she would make sourdough. And my family comes from a long line of wheat farmers back in Ireland, and they became so successful with their wheat farm that they got knighted.
Mm.
And then there's a few castles in Ireland that are still under our old name, which was Denny, and now it's Denna. Because when they came to America, they wanted to sound more American,
Yeah.
so they changed it to Denna. But yeah, so my family's like a long line of bread makers,
Mm.
and I still have my great grandmother's bread mixing bowl. So it's this
Oh,
big
cool.
wooden bowl
Yeah.
that she carved, and her handprints are still on the side, where she gripped the bowl.
That's
Like
cool.
she gripped it
That's
so
so-
much that her hands were
Yeah.
like carved into that spot
Wow, that's cool.
I don't
because
know.
it was basically something they made every day.
So like.
Do you have her sour bread recipe?
I
You have
do.
her sourdough
There-
starter?
Well, the story is that there's this crack in our bowl, which it is there. There is a crack in the bowl that has been filled with dough
Oh.
since she started making it, and that's
gotta kill
has
her.
the yeast from like 100
Yeah.
and something years ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so because that's the bowl you ferment in.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was told that I'm not supposed to really wash it. Like I can wash it out, but not with
Yeah,
soap.
yeah.
Because otherwise I'll lose that
Sometimes
like
he
100-year-old
wins. He likes to cry,
yeast.
right?
Right.
Making your own
I
starters.
don't care about you. He wants
It's-
to cry.
yeah,
It
it's-
took a lot of.
We can do one in here.
Let's
took a
do
lot of
one.
love.
That's what
Let's
he
do it.
wants.
Let's do it.
It's super fun to
That's why
watch.
you feel
I got
good.
all the stuff for it too.
It's just like knowing the.
So
How to feed it
basically,
right the right way.
it's water and flour.
Oh,
And you can do it with the yeast that grows in the air just around here. And you just keep feeding it. So what you do is you put in water and then you take it out. You take half out and then half new stuff in. You just keep doing that for a week. And then once
Maybe
it
a
starts to
furby
like
look on
expand and produce gas, then you have started. Okay, so now we have pie crust.
Ooh, look at that.
And then I've been making pies for like 2 years. I just figured out that I'm supposed to put cold in it,
Yes.
Mom's been here for 7 years, dude.
which you don't need to, but it definitely makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So I'm poking holes in the bottom.
Look at Angel. He's using a fork to poke holes.
Huh.
And that's gonna make it so that the crust
I
doesn't.
don't need to
Bubble.
cry, huh?
No.
Aw. He's a baby. He cries.
We'll make a pie. Hey, let's go get it.
Remember, you're fine. It's okay. It's only a baby when he cries, aren't you? You're not a baby. Sometimes you're a big boy, Eric.
Well, that made it in a shot.
Huh?
This is a very authentic video.
Yes,
Eric,
it
you're
is.
having fun.
Yeah. Very authentic.
And I'm even gonna do them in the sides because the crust on the sides a lot thicker.
Oh, okay.
Don't think
so-
we would make Food Network with this one.
I bet you we would.
Heart and all.
I'm excited to try this pie.
I never thought to use a cast iron.
It
Yeah.
makes the dough
gonna have to
and the
use mine.
filling way better than a
Oh.
foil
Than a-
one.
just
Or
a
like
regular-
if
like
you
a
buy the
glass.
crust at
Yeah.
Yes.
Walmart or whatever, which isn't bad. You could do that and still have a good pumpkin pie. It's just depending on how you bake it. But I think, and I could totally just be like placebo, but cooking it in here makes it like a cake rather than
This is
This
way
gooey.
less
Okay.
messy too.
Right.
You
It's
didn't do any rolling or
No.
That's nice.
So you can also put this dough in the refrigerator for 12 hours,
Yeah.
roll it out, and then
Then-
lay it in there. But if I do that, I use this pan,
this is so much easier though.
That's so much easier though. Yeah, one of those.
one of these like quick release ones,
Yeah.
and it like releases on the side, and then
Yes.
you could cut your crust. So then it's just like thin crust all the way, like even crust. This I like because it's thinner on the bottom, and you get a really thick like side crust. Okay.
Huh?
Oh, look at that! It literally got to 425 as I walked over here.
Ding.
So I'm gonna set my phone for 15 minutes or sorry, 10 minutes because you have to bake the crust for 10 minutes.
I don't care what he's mad for.
Alright. So I'm gonna put this in. Okay, so while that's going, we're gonna make our pumpkin pie filling. And I'm just gonna kind of get some of that crust out.
Okay.
We're done with all of the crust stuff, so we can put it over here. And now we're gonna do the filling. And the filling is we're gonna start with 4 eggs.
No, what else is here?
And there is some like flour and crust in here, but I just tend to leave it because then I don't waste it.
Yeah.
And it just kind of gets incorporated into the filling.
Dude, you've been crying for 7 years. So sometimes it's gonna be 7. That's why you have to be serious. You can't be crying already? Huh? Oh yeah, you got stomach?
Wash my hands,
Huh?
don't touch the egg yolk.
Yeah, no crying in school, Angel. Crying? All right. Huh?
We're making a pie.
Oh, there's no need to be crying, dude.
Making a pie.
We're making a pie.
No need to cry.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna grab a different whisk because I don't need that big one. Then we're gonna do our pumpkin. And I need a can opener
Like,
right here. I did bring my own can opener, but it's not the best.
Okay, we've got that one.
This one's already better than
I'm putting this on our Power Pals page.
I'm mad, guys.
Why are you mad, Cornell?
Because I don't care where the heck my mom is. He doesn't care where the heck his mom is.
Okay, so in my recipe book, it says to
Actually, you're good at it, my friend.
add 2 cups of pumpkin puree. But I kind of just eyeball it.
Actually,
But we'll just do
you're a son of a hit.
2 or 4 half cups of big scoops. Doesn't have to be exact.
Okay. So you don't
But
use
I usually
you
just
don't
use
use the
about
whole
half
count.
a can,
Okay.
and that's basically about all. It's not really an exact science with the pumpkin part, because this is gonna. So it looks really thick, and you would think that your filling would be thick, but this is gonna come out like water,
Okay.
because it needs to evaporate all the water in the pumpkin and then the eggs. Okay, it's about half a can. And then we're gonna do half a cup of brown sugar.
Say sugar. Just don't get a cup of sugar.
And then we're gonna do a cup of regular sugar. Is there regular sugar in here?
Should be.
Let's find out. Perfect.
Macau.
We'll wash this out. And we gotta make sure we're checking our timer. We got 5 minutes. I'll check it. Looks good. And this is just regular granulated sugar.
Or sit down, you're gonna walk the plane. Yeah, I already told you to sit down. I'm not kidding.
Alright. Okay. Then we
You better
need
hook it.
half a teaspoon of salt.
Mr. T just put the salt in.
So far, this is what we're looking
Ooh, nice.
But I don't know why I can't have them right now.
at. Okay. And then we got 2
I don't
teaspoons
know
of
why
ground
you
cinnamon and 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice. Now pumpkin spice already has cinnamon, but I do an
Okay.
extra
Well,
2.
that sucks. You
'Cause it
can't
just-
see mom? I want to see her.
Who
What's the
doesn't like
difference
cinnamon?
between pumpkin spice and allspice?
So pumpkin spice has nutmeg
Okay.
and cinnamon,
Okay.
and then
Allspice has like all
it
the
has
other.
allspice, cinnamon, and nutmeg,
Gotcha.
and then
Got it.
Look, I'm sad.
Got
it's
it.
just all of those 3 mixed together.
Got it.
And then I add an extra bit.
Because right now you can't find pumpkin spice
Huh?
anywhere.
I'm sad.
Right.
It's like
it's
sold
almost
out.
non-existent. Yeah.
Wait,
So I'm doing 4 of
why are you
these,
being
half.
mad?
I'll do 3.
He's mad.
I always eyeball it. If it looks like a lot, then I just
No, I didn't
Okay.
do anything to
go
you.
with the flow.
Huh? This is gonna be a cry for them. It's okay. I wanna
Yeah, it's
cry.
funny. It's hard to find like the pumpkin spice, but you can find all this stuff for pumpkin
Right.
spice
Separately, right.
separately. Oh, I love the way that smells.
Wha-
smells so good.
Why? We're not doing anything to you. Don't cry.
Okay,
I wanna
and then
pause.
I like to add maple syrup,
Ooh.
To my
Look on hell, maple syrup.
and I just kind of like do a quick splash. That's
Oh.
about good.
Good,
And then I always go for coconut and almond milk. It's like a cream and a milk because it
Okay.
requires milk and cream, and this is a
The double whammy.
double whammy.
Got it both.
It's gotta cry sometimes,
And
huh?
and I do 1 cup.
Okay.
The half cup and
Look.
almond.
Yeah, you're gonna see your mom after school. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it isn't. Huh. She's crying. I don't like when you cry, dude. Nobody
Yes.
wants to hear you that
Half.
about being a crybaby.
And then 1 more.
It's okay, huh?
And now we're just gonna mix all of
Say
this
it's
together.
easy.
Ooh, look at that.
I know it's easy. Don't
Look
cry, huh?
at that.
People want to feel bad for you. It's okay. You end up feeling bad. Hey, I'm gonna end up dropping you if you don't stop. You can think.
So the reason I add the brown sugar is because it makes it more like a caramel when it bakes. So that way it stays all together
Oh,
like
cool.
a cake
You don't,
rather than
you don't
this
care if you
gushy
don't want to bake.
pumpkin pie.
But I care, dude. Same thing I care. You can't bake right now?
We're baking right now.
I'm not upset right now. Can't be sad if Ari you, dude. I wanna cry. Huh? Nobody wants to say that, dude, huh? No one can see our
Okay.
moms? I'm
And then I
sad.
kind of just lightly stir it, so that way
I know
I
you
can
can
get
see her
some of
that's
the
because
bubbles
she's
out.
at work. I wanna see her.
Along the sides, and I'll come
It's
shaking.
gonna be a long time, dude. It's
Look.
okay,
Alright,
huh?
look, we're gonna look. Look, Eric.
Ooh.
Look at the
Fancy
pumpkin.
soap, see?
Just looking.
Right?
Wow.
So that's the filling.
That's a nice.
It's a good color on there.
Go here,
Wowza.
but I'm crying, huh?
And so it's really liquidy, and it's
What's
gonna
that?
come out like
Oh,
a cake. Oh, that's
perfect
our
timer.
pie crust.
Look at that. It was finished just in time.
Yeah.
He's crying. Little baby boy. He's just crying. Look. I want my mom.
Hey.
Hey, come sit down.
How you doing, you kid? So don't cry.
Come sit down.
There's our pie crust.
You want to sit?
Ooh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Come get
This is a little bit fluffier than I like.
your
So I'm going
How to
to
go
press it.
somewhere? You don't have to cry about that.
So it's a little bit more puffy than I'd like, so I'm gonna take my cup and I'm gonna press
So,
down a little
Oh, okay, that's a good trick.
bit, just so I can get as much of the filling in there as
don't say,
possible.
don't care. Why is he crying?
We're watching the pie.
Smells really good too. Smells better than a normal crust too.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, it's a buttered cookie crust. So if you wanted to make buttered cookies, that's how
Oh,
you make
okay.
buttered cookies.
Okay.
You just don't press it into a
Right.
pan.
Oh,
So,
no, crying.
So what the heck?
Yeah.
okay,
Best video ever.
So-
Yeah.
dump this in there.
I know, but we care about that.
Nice. That almost looks like a toffee.
Right?
Or not?
the colors. Mm-hmm.
It's okay, he is okay.
This is the pumpkin.
Totally
See,
making
why
this
is he
this
crying?
weekend.
He wants mom.
Yum.
I have a digital copy of this recipe too, if you guys want it.
Okay.
Yes. Can you move the pumpkin right here?
Okay.
He wants his mom on him?
You have to find matching ones. Look.
Beautiful.
Yep. This is the, I would say, the hardest part of the whole thing. Is putting that back in the oven.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Film house on here?
Actually,
I don't care what we understand about you. Huh?
and because it's cast iron, it's a little heavy.
Okay.
You just gotta make sure you don't spill it. Okay, so we're gonna do 425 for 15 minutes, and then we're gonna drop it 100 degrees to 325 for an hour.
Okay.
And then we'll have pumpkin pie.
Perfect.
Alrighty.
Thank you, Mr. T.
Mm-hmm.